still, the conversation of say Julian Alvarez about Chelsea and Azomba, and if he's going to fit Chelsea Football Club na air on, trust me. And everywhere you pass, everybody's talking about Julian Alvarez, possibly to Chelsea, and then what he can add to the Chelsea team, and it's Manu. I can understand where people want Julian Alvarez to come to Chelsea. I think that to an extent, I agree. In fact, I think that in terms of talent, there are only a few attackers in English Premier League anymore. Almost close to what Julian Alvarez will give you. And for me, it's about the mobility of a centre forward with Julian Alvarez. Then you look at the ball striking ability and the number of goals that he has scored, the shot conversion rate, and then the shooting ability or the things that he gives you. So, of course, Julian Alvarez is a top-notch player in the sense that he gives you a lot than you expect from him. Into conversation goes on, but just this afternoon, Saudi Arabia foreign have approached Christopher Nkunku just because they had said Chelsea are cutting the idea of going into sign a branch and Julian Alvarez. Let me go back and explain the whole situation for you. The conversation is simple. Julian Alvarez echo Argentina for camp in their preparation for the Copa America. Once he went there, he had insisted, he had some sort suggested to most of the journalists who were around the Albiceleste team or the Argentine national team that he isn't getting enough playing time under Josep Guardiola, and he would want to leave. This reason obviously has sparked a lot of controversy around Julian Alvarez, and people are keep on saying, okay, fine, then Chelsea will go in for a bid. Because obviously Chelsea wants a centre forward. In fact, the journalist who broke the story has come back to say Chelsea in the next few days will send in a very concrete offer. Now, when I did my digging, if you go to Manchester City, I catch Julian Alvarez. They've told the journalists, and they've told a lot of people, said, Julian Alvarez hasn't told them so free Man City. He hasn't even indicated to them so free Manchester City. So to them, since Alvarez hasn't said anything of the sort, they know that their player is happy and he wants to be there. And they have no intention, say they will loan Julian Alvarez to any club, let alone Chelsea in the English Premier League. Whether he's going abroad or he's staying in the English Premier League. Their plan is not to loan Julian Alvarez to anybody. Say, a player now, come and pay good money and then take him away. Imagine say babe Guloni player and net and now China Nababe say, oh okay, Julian Alvarez went on loan. No. If he doesn't have minutes, they believe say he has to fight for it. Now, it is important to know this thing. Pep Guardiola was some philosophy on the team. According to Pep, so we a player. Now, unya babe catcher and say unya minutes, and then you believe say you need to get more minutes. According to Pep, it is a disrespect, not to him, but to the other players and team. So that is the dark situation. Anything that Julian Alvarez hasn't been able to tell Manchester City officially, say he needs playing time, or to tell Pep Guardiola say he needs playing time. It's in common man playing time because he knows how Pep is going to react to it. And Man City for now have made it clear through one more outlet said there is no way they are going to loan out Julian Alvarez. On my evaluation of the young Argentine, 80 million in terms of pounds, or 80 million pounds, they are not going to loan him. If you want to come and buy him, come negotiate, pay the 80 million, and then take the young boy Mkofani free River Plate to buy. Mind you, Manchester City paid less than 20 million for Julian Alvarez. Time Mkofani free River Plate from Argentina, and it tells you something to turn for 80 million. It is the quality that they are getting for a player of the shape of a branch of Julian Alvarez. Again, next Chelsea in Paris Saint-Germain are also looking at Julian Alvarez. Luis Enrique, he loves diminutive attackers like Julian Alvarez. Now up top, there is a physical attackers with Gonzalo Ramos and Randall Colomwani who are there to hold up the ball and then bring other people into play. But in the absence of Kylian Mbappe, he will need different variations. Those that can occupy the half space, those that are very mobile. And in the first name, apart from Kvaratskhelia of Napoli, your friend Julian Alvarez, who can also come in and play for Tima, your friend Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain, of course, Manchester City. It's a dicey situation for Julian Alvarez himself. He's a close friend of Enzo Fernandez. For Julian Alvarez, he would want to be with Enzo Fernandez. He would want more time. Enzo Fernandez would want to push Nadam for Mbambe Boma Chelsea. Then, of course, their bromance can go on. But it goes beyond that. And For me, about what Chelsea needs now. Now, even before I go on to what Chelsea needs now. One of the things you have to remember and say, if you look at the skill set of Julian Alvarez, he is cast in the shape of Christopher Nkunku. Yes, because of injury, a lot of people did not see Nkunku last season. But blemish is the thought of an injury. If Nkunku stays fit throughout preseason or bad season when he's fitter, he gives you exactly what Julian Alvarez gives you. Do not forget that it is Christopher Nkunku that was one of the best attackers. In fact, won the German Golden Boot whilst Robert Lewandowski was still in the league. It's the quality of Christopher Nkunku. And in the Odema as an attacker, that's the most important thing. When you look at situations like this, especially when it becomes a little bit dicey and look at it, it's okay, what does Alvarez do to the team? Alvarez, what does he contribute to the team? Osha, can he be a top player? Yes, he can be a top player. Yes, he can help the Chelsea team. He can give goals to Chelsea. But it's what he give. I said this on Twitter on BBC Sam said, so is Julian Alvarez, is Nicolas Jackson better than Julian Alvarez? It's the parts of the games that's most important. Don't look at it from the player in itself. And as the attackers now, you will not be far from wrong if you go and look at the goals that they've scored and what have you. But look at it from different things as well, like the contributions to it. What Jackson asked the Chelsea team, the hold-up ability, the channel runs. Those are not the things that Julian Alvarez is cast in the frame to do. And you need to look at it in the context of all of those things before you make a proper evaluation of what Julian Alvarez. Now, because of all of these things, because of signing Manema United, now Christopher Nkunku has been approached by Saudi Arabia for him. Yeah, Al Nasser and then Al Ittifaq have contacted Christopher Nkunku. And then the plan is simple. Say they have read and they've seen that Chelsea are trying and are hoping so they can contact Manchester City for a better friend Julian Alvarez. Now for them, they want players that will come to the Saudi Pro League to come and play football. And they believe say if you get to beat say Christopher Nkunku in his prime to come to the Saudi Pro League and come and play football, it adds a lot more to the league and he'll give them a lot of resources, especially when they are playing the Asian Championship in there, especially for Al Nassr and Al Hilal. They want a player like Nkunku. Now, continue. I've said it several times. The sporting director that leading the whole Saudi football consortium in terms of the league in Saudi Arabia, a former Chelsea sporting director, Michael Emenalo. Now, Michael Emenalo, I contacted Chelsea sporting directors now. When Stanley, any Abranti friend is stewards, and he has been clear to them, say, oh, you have to say, money Julian Alvarez, if by any chance you people do a deal for Julian Alvarez, and then you will let Christopher Nkunku go. We want Christopher Nkunku. And they are very, very serious about Christopher Nkunku. They've contacted Christopher Nkunku's agent. Now, my agents look at Michael Emenalo, any Saudi for, and they say, wait until we see something concrete. Because according to the agent, Nkunku don't know, he wants to stay put at Chelsea. Last season wasn't a good one. He wants to stay fit, play some good football. The fans, the players now have seen that there's a new manager that's coming in. So most of them are speaking to the players. In fact, 2 days ago, I was reliably informed that Enzo Maresca did a phone conference call with all the players, both those on the national teams and then Omo Mofi, and then told them, say, they welcomed him, told them, say, he wants to be with them, he wants to work with them. And he's starting to tell the players specifically what he wants from them. And it is in the light of this, Enzo Maresca is sending a big point dossier to all of these players. I want that from you next season. This season, peso yesi mami. Next season, peso yesi mami. Next season, peso yesi mami. And that's what Enzo Maresca is telling all the Chelsea players. And in there, he spoke to Christopher Nkunku. And it was clear to Christopher Nkunku said, how I want you to play now. For Cole Palmer, he's going to be an attacking CM on the right-hand side. Or yet a natural winger, not from the right-hand side. No, for me, I want the natural wingers to have the touchline. Who say you have a good place in my team in the half spaces. You have a good place in my team as a second striker. You have a good place in my team, even as a striker. When we play against teams from here, very, very compact and low blocks in there, and we want to kill the game, you have a big place in my team. And how? And this has in turn prompted Chelsea to go back to Saudi Arabia for and told them, say, they don't have any plans that they will let Amante friend Christopher Nkunku go and then do a deal for him at stand. Nkunku, yes, Chelsea for now have met with Saudi Arabia for Christopher Nkunku, but definitely he's not going to go. He's not going to leave in there. And if as Christopher Nkunku will still stay, and the deal for Julian Alvarez, no, trust me, a very complex deal. It's not a deal that can be made overnight. As explained to you, Manchester City point of view, Chelsea point of view, the player point of view, and then what Chelsea actually needs in their team now. It's not a deal that's going to come in easy at all, and we'll to see. But Paris Saint-Germain see Julian Alvarez as a priority our team, and they will do everything to get him. And like I said, Man City have not received any offer for Julian Alvarez at the close of the season. The player has not told them say he wants to be sacked. Only the player wanted to leave, and the club is willing to sell for 80 million if you want him to go in there for Abrantia, your friend Julian Alvarez in there. And Christopher Nkunku has been clear, say he wants to stay. Chelsea new boy. Chelsea new boy. Chelsea new boy. Now, if you've not seen this boy, if you've not watched this boy, if you've not analyzed this boy, if you've not read the scout report of this boy, I would understand that you think that it's just one of those things. And it brings the whole conversation into the focus of the fact, say, a lot of the people have said that, hey, the Chelsea model is not like the Arsenal model now before people make it similar. Maybe yes, Chelsea have gone in for a coach who was cast in the shape of Mikel Arteta, a former assistant from Josep Guardiola, somebody who had learned through the ranks in there, wants to play positional play, understands the importance of team building, wants the possession-based football and stuff like that. But the real model of the transfer market is that of Real Madrid. And a lot of the people from Cut Offside Money they are now reporting said it is about the close friendship Todd Bowley with Florentino Perez. And in there, he has gone in there to meet Real Madrid top god Rooney Khalifa and then Florentino Perez. In there, he has come to understand it's important to go to South America and get the best talent. I've said this several times that if you do not understand the Chelsea project, you call it memes. But really, these owners know exactly what they are doing. Just 2 days ago, Sky Sports Football reported said, "Oh, Chelsea are part of the 8th club now to sell players by the 30th of June to sell." Like I've explained this thing long time on this channel. Say Chelsea did not need to sell anybody because they know what they were going to do. Last time I explained to you, said the rules were there. Rules they say you can't take extra money from other feeder companies or company sponsor a only club now to come and put it on your books. Now MLS okay, almost sponsor on this animal, the commercial side of it. Chelsea ready this. Okay, this is about commercial. Let us move away from the commercial conversation. Rule in the rule, it doesn't say so we can't sell to your companies now. Then Chelsea says, okay, fine. There were 2 hotels close to Stamford Bridge, 1 car park. Let's sell it to one of your companies. Fancy Chelsea book so, and they done a brilliant job. Every day I say this thing. Chelsea don't need to sell anything. In fact, every players at Chelsea better on now. It's for a futuristic value. And Chelsea may not be forced to sell Conor Gallagher. Say, get good money to come and sell them. Chelsea knows they'll be Romelu Lukaku. They won't take him on loan because almost sharing his Kasa, across all the other players are on. They will go in for the best fee before they sell them. And it is clear with respect to our players team now over. Now, who is this boy that I'm talking about? He is a young boy from Brazil. He's from Sao Paulo. Now, it's different when you see the Brazilian players normally attack us now. Then you say, okay, it's just one of those Brazilian wonder kids never. This guy is not an attacker. He's a right back. And or your right back, Chelsea are buying him for the future. I've told you several times, Chelsea want to stockpile on the best talent. Take them on loan to Strasbourg. Let them go and play some good football for two or three seasons. And I feel it's a plan to move on from regimes if his injuries occur throughout next season again and then next season next. They will want to let him go and then bring in this young boy to come in and play football. And Chelsea are in the final phase of getting a young boy from Brazil, 17 years of age, just like Estevão Willian, and Brazilian right back, a friend of Pedro Lima, our Bournemouth Sports Recife, and then a branch friend Pedro Lima ever in the Brazilian Superliga. Chelsea are now looking to close the signing of Pedro Lima, a talented right fullback, very nimble-footed, low center of gravity, on the ball, comes inverted, very good defensive in 1v1 duels, aerial duels, all the way short. And also Marcelo Mpesen when you want a branch friend Pedro Lima for Chelsea Football Club. Trust me, a top dog that's coming to Chelsea, they know say they put one of the best talents in South America, and it's not just Chelsea. Real Madrid also wanted a branch friend Pedro Lima, and I told you the last time, said Andre Carey, Rooney Khalifa. These are the 2 main guys when you go to South America and if you want some of their best young talent. But what Chelsea did was that immediately Andre Carey fell out with FC Barcelona. Chelsea have now contacted Andre Carey, or you're more like a third-party plug in South America. So once Andre Carey has scouted all of these players, feels okay, they are good players, he brings the dossier to Chelsea. The scouts team led by Joe Shields go watch the analytical tapes, they analyze them, they conclude or take the medical report, then they send it back to the sporting directors. Now sporting directors will now decide if they will go in for such players, if it fits their model. And that's why Chelsea are going for a brand here. Your friend of Pedro Lima, right back in the in the Brazilian league over there. Now to some transfer news quickly. Manchester United wants a player, a huge DM, very, very important player for the Portuguese national team, and last season also for Benfica. Your friend Pedro Neves, top. João Neves actually, a very, very good DM, and United genuinely wants this guy called João Neves. And I've watched a few times João Neves in the middle of the park. Very, very good player. Very good player. Or Shesa attacking, just like Cesar Azpilicueta, no attacking in. Very, very difficult, very disciplined. Difficult so you get the ball off him. When he has the ball, he's able to fight, cover a lot of ground for the team, push into various areas, and he's a top player in that regard. A brand here friend Julian Alvarez. Manchester United, we are hearing that Benfica are looking at an evaluation not less than 60 million from team friend Manchester United. Not less than 60 million from Manchester United. A very, very good player. In fact, in the Portuguese Liga, he made the most ground duels and won them. Even for his heights, aerial duels, he was also the top player. Very, very good in terms of the mental side of the game. A good friend of Bruno Fernandes. And Manchester United are trying to do a deal with Benfica. Now, the problem is that Benfica are difficult business people. Yes. If you go back and you ask yourself, say, how is it that Chelsea took so long in dealing with Benfica? Rui Costa is a top guy in terms of these things. He's difficult. Now, Rui Costa sold Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea for almost 120 million plus with add-ons. See, if you're Manchester United fan, you're listening now, trust me, João Neves will not come less. 120 million plus with add-ons. And Manchester United. It's not going to be easy at all for Manchester United to get João Neves or João Neves. The Portuguese people will not say that Neves. It's João Neves when it comes in to play for Manchester United. United near, you know that the deal will not be easy. It's going to be expensive. Rui Costa will siphon every amount of money that he can get from this deal because he was a replacement for Enzo Fernandez, and then they will make sure they get all the money before say a brand here friend of João Neves, a free teamer, your friend of FC Benfica to go abroad, especially to Manchester United in there. Manchester United need him because Casemiro will be leaving. Sophie Namamra, but they don't really know say he's going to stay there for another season on loan or not, or he's going to go back to Fiorentina in there, which is very, very important. United needs an overhauling of one midfield now. And the first player on my spot is João Neves from FC Benfica. Now, Jean-Claude Todibo, another centre back in the French Liga, had extinct very, very good times with Barcelona. Went to go and play in the German Bundesliga at some point in time. Went back to OGC needs. And mind you, say Ineos for now the only OGC needs. So Jean-Claude Todibo, Ineos would want to do a deal with themselves and bring Jean-Claude Todibo to Manchester United. Clubs like Everton, money they are looking at Jean-Claude Todibo. And United for say they evaluate him at £45 million as a player, Jean-Claude Todibo, to come in and play. Apart from Jean-Claude Todibo, there are three other centre backs at Manchester United for two other centre backs. There's a boy called Gonzalo Inácio, also in the Portuguese League. This time I think for Sporting. Very, very good centre back. He's a leader. He's a pack leader at the back. Very, very good mentality. Reads the game very well. Goes into duels and wins them. And then Abrante friend Lenny Euro and win there because they lost out to Abrante friend Tosin Adrabia to Chelsea. Manchester United, after they lost in on Tosin Adrabia to Chelsea, they are going back to look at these boys. First of all, it's Gonzalo Inácio, there's Jean-Claude Todibo, and Lenny Euro. Mind you, Euro is being contacted by Real Madrid. Last time, he has been told by Real Madrid, it's Antonio Boasi, because the contract will end next summer. If it ends next summer, he'll go to Real Madrid for free and he's going to be a top player. They've sold him a very, very good project. So if you look at the backline of Real Madrid, a lot of the players are going to be aged. The youngest one amongst them, Eder Militao. Rudiger is not going to play there for the next 5 years. He is going to be there when he starts learning under them, and he's going to be the main centre back for team my friend Real Madrid. And they told him, said that's exactly what they did for Brantia, their friend Rafa Varane in Omonye normal brand bibia enye kama over there. So if you are looking at some of these center backs for almost 45 million, 50 million, they are looking at a brand Tiffany Jean 75 million, 85 million for Benfica. You know, some Manchester United have a lot to pay for in terms of players at the team. But hey, that's just by way of transfer. We'll give you the best of football analysis and Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. God willing, tomorrow it's the official birthday one on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube.